Hey, I'm Rob Adler, and welcome to Understanding Upstate, the podcast dedicated to exploring what makes upstate New York such a unique place. Each week, my co-host Jim Search and I dive into a new upstate topic to better understand what's up upstate, and today we are talking about the life and times of the Triple Cities hockey franchise, the Binghamton Whalers.
Pew, pew, pew.
Pretty exciting.
Oh, I'm ready.
Pretty exciting. I'm ready as well. But I'm also ready to tell everyone that they need to subscribe, rate, review the show, and, share an episode with a friend. That does wonders for us, and will do wonders for your friend and your friendship with that friend. Because they're going to come back like, oh my God, you've changed my life. They're going to have Speedies in their life then. From there on out. Give the gift of the Speedy. That's my own personal ministry, Jim. That and canals.
Well, it'll strengthen the friendship, right? Like
that's true.
If you're not,
that's a guarantee.
Yeah, we guarantee
money back
that.
guarantee.
Yep. Marinade back guarantee. If you aren't better friends, if you're not better friends with this person you sent an episode to, we'll get you a bottle of Lupo's marinade, and
there you go.
You'll even become better friends because you'll have them over for some Speedies, and they'll love you for it.
Yep.
I'm going to keep it 100 with you.
And when you guys are eating Speedies, you can talk about your favorite upstate things that you would like us to talk about on a future episode. And then you're going to go give us a 5-star rating. And you're going to throw that suggestion into your positive review. And the cycle of positive upstate
vibes. You can't go wrong. Like, you're not going wrong with our podcast if I'm going to be like completely unbiased here. It's true. It's good and good for you. You know what else is good for these Speedy freaks?
I have a guess.
Oh, I'm going to tell you. It's some talk about the Whalers, baby. Yes.
All right, let's get into the Whalers.
All right. Well, so I want to say, and we were talking about this before we got on the pod here, that the Binghamton Whalers are probably the most I would say, because there's been obviously a couple iterations in team names that we're going to get into later, but the Binghamton Whalers are probably the most significant and the team that sticks out the most to me, because the hockey team in Binghamton was the Whalers throughout the 80s, right? And I'm an 80s kid growing up in Binghamton. So that's all we knew were the Binghamton Whalers. So I've been to a couple games as a young jam over at the Broome County Veterans Memorial Arena, which is where the Binghamton Whalers were once a hockey team in the American Hockey League. They were known as the Binghamton Baby Whalers, right? Coming on the scene in the 80s.
Now, are they babies who whale, or are they whalers who go for baby whales? I think it's an important distinction.
Fair question. I don't know if either one. I guess I suppose being a baby whale is probably the better of the two, because going after. Or
you're just saying a baby whale?
I was saying just being a baby whale, which I felt like.
Sure. I mean, if we all could just be a baby whale, absolutely.
We'd all be better for it. But if we're a whaler, which in this case I'm assuming is someone who's hunting a whale. Probably neither of these situations are good. You don't want to hunt a whale. However, what I can say, my effervescent Speedy freaks out there, is that the Binghamton Baby Whalers were the farm team of the NHL Hartford Whalers, right? So,
which news to me that Hartford had a pro anything team. It is a small market, as they say in major league sports. Very surprised
that there was a Hartford. They were the Hartford Whalers, which there is a friend of mine, Pete, who is from around Hartford, and when he found out I was from Binghamton, he was very excited to talk to me about the Binghamton Whalers. Because he was like, you're from Binghamton. I'm like, yeah. He's like, so you know about the Binghamton Whalers? I'm like, you are probably the third person I've ever met that's not from Binghamton who's just like, hey, hold the phone. So let's talk about the Binghamton Whalers. And I was ready to do it. I was absolutely ready to do it. Now,
I do have a quick question.
Sure.
In terms of Binghamton sports teams, we talked about the B-Mets / Rumble Ponies a few episodes ago, talking about the Whalers today. Is there, as far as all the teams go, is there one particular, were people bigger fans of the B-Mets, bigger fans of the Whalers? Like, was there a dominant sport, I guess?
I would hazard to say that to answer that question, like, I think the Whalers were a little bit more of a more popular team and more of a fan favorite, only because hockey was such an institution in Binghamton, because prior to, which is a great segue, because prior to the Whalers, there was the Broom Dusters, which were a hockey team.
Great name.
Right. Yeah.
Great.
If you just
Great name. Broom for Broome County, I assume.
Right, but we can play with that, right? We can play with broom dusters. We're dust brooms. We're doing it here.
That's a great sport name. Sport name, sport team name.
Sporting name team. Now, so that being said, if I were to say, and I'm really just shooting from the hip on this, that I feel like the Whalers were a more popular team than the B-Mets. However, not to say that there wasn't like a huge like explosion of fanfare, because Binghamton got a baseball team for the first time.
Yeah.
The Binghamton Mets were the first. So I think that there was a real spike in excitement, and then I think that kind of petered out over the years. But anyway, to answer that question, now,
right. So the Whalers at the top.
Yeah.
Top,
yeah.
Baby.
And, you know, it's like, listen, Binghamton is a city of violence. So if there's a sport in which someone can hit someone else, yeah,
sure.
you're speaking the language of the 607. If there's going to be someone putting their hands on someone else, people are going to say, "Oh yeah, interested. Tell me more." What else is there? Does this happen frequently? Because I'd love to see it.
Right. Are season tickets available?
If I could only go back in time. So, the Whalers, the history of the Whalers. They were generally a successful team, making the playoffs 7 times. Under head coach Larry Kish, the Whalers won the AHL's South Division with a 46-28-6 record. Pretty damn impressive, I would say. They advanced all the way to the 1982 Calder Cup Finals, where they lost to the league's best team in the regular season, the New Brunswick Hawks, 4-1. Oof. You hate to see it. Well, friends, in true Binghamton fashion, nothing can last good for long, because as we take a sharp turn in 89 into 90, they turned into a ghastly 11-60-9 record. Wow.
Oof.
Dead last in the league. I feel like, Rob, you and I could have beat that team, and I don't know if
I can't even skate. I'm confident in that statement.
I can't skate either, but I feel like with 11 wins and 60 losses,
that's
that's gnarly.
Oof. Yeah, man, that's real bad. When I read that stat, it sent me searching for some headlines, which, God, there's we mentioned up top the hockey teams in Binghamton. There's been so many different ones, and they're in different. Sometimes it's a name change, sometimes it's a league change, so it's like technically a different team,
right?
So it's hard to pinpoint specific information about any one of these older teams. There's just not not a ton of news articles still around. Like all I could find is like old game programs on eBay, which of course you can't like read inside, which like looked cool.
Sure.
But it was like, advertising the firefighters pancake breakfast next week or some shit like that. Great information, not very helpful for our podcast. But the one headline I was able to find was this from February 2nd, 1990, and it's Whalers sinking to lowest depths. And the only snippet I could get is, are the Binghamton Whalers of 89-90 as bad as the Baltimore Skipjacks of 87-88? The worst club in American League history? No matter what, the comparisons are inevitable.
Jesus. Mike Cain was not sparing anything when talking about how horrible the Whalers were. Well, Michael Caine took the time out of his busy acting schedule, which he was busy in 1990 to write. Sure.
They were that bad that he felt compelled.
He had to
write about the Whalers.
He had to get his 2 cents in there. The 194 winning percentage was the worst in AHL history at the time. Ever.
God, yeah, that's bad. Oof.
So what I'm about to say is not going to be a shock to anybody, right? The speedy freaks that are sitting down are not going to be blown away when I say this. After that season, the franchise was sold to the New York Rangers and their parent, Paramount Communications, formerly Gulf and Western. The Whalers moved their affiliation to Springfield for the next season, where the 7 remaining players from the disastrous 1990 Binghamton season helped the Indians to their 7th and final Calder Cup championship, which means they were like, get me out of Binghamton. Well, you know what?
Yeah. How did they then go to win? They just wanted out.
I feel like they just needed a change of scenery. And
sure.
You know what? I feel like a speedy diet, as much as I love them, are not good.
I was just going to say, you know what? If I was a professional sportsman and I was playing in Binghamton, I would be distracted by speedies.
Sure.
I'd be hitting those morning, noon, and night. And I would not be at peak performance.
No practices, just
no,
just solely a speedy lifestyle.
And in fact, I'm so devoted to speedies, I would be smuggling them into practice for other players. Which, Jim, this is a side note, but I have some precedents for this. I used to participate on the high school track and field team.
Okay.
In the field portion, not the track portion.
Okay.
It was a thrower. And we would in fact have our team manager he's responsible for all the equipment and like a lot of logistics and stuff. To delight us, he would run to McDonald's before our coach made it down to the throwing circles and get everyone Big Macs.
Holy shit.
Multiple times.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Wait.
Best team manager ever.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like manage is doing a lot of work in that sentence right there.
It's true. I mean, look, his time management skills, like he still got all of his other tasks done for the track part of the team. But, maybe if the 89-90 Whalers just had someone delivering speedies to them, maybe it would have worked out differently.
Yeah.
Something to think about.
Food for thought. Or Mac for thought in this case. Well, let's talk about the Whalers, the logo, right? Because that is certainly something that's very important to the team identity. The Binghamton Whalers logo was simply the Hartford Whalers logo turned onto its side. Boom. Doesn't get better than that. The curvature.
It reminds me of the pitch for Aliens 2, where someone just went up to, I don't know if this is apocryphal or if it actually happened, but allegedly they're in a pitch meeting for the sequel to Alien. They write Alien on a whiteboard. and then someone writes an S and makes it into a $sign. Boom, aliens, greenlit.
Say less. Get Sigourney back. Let's go.
Yep. And they just take that W. Boom. It's a B, baby. Binghamton Whalers. We're
in
here.
All right. Carry me on your shoulders down Main Street, please. Now, the curvature along the inside of the W was altered to more closely resemble the letter B for the team's home city, which makes sense to me. Now, during the home games, the song Brass Bonanza would play when the Whalers scored a goal, a practice adopted from the Hartford Whalers, which, Rob, you're going to tell us a little bit more about that, aren't you?
I am. First, I want to know, do you have any recollection of listening to Brass Bonanza?
You know, I'd be lying to you if I said I did. I don't remember that song very clearly. So
Sure.
I don't want to mislead anybody here.
Let me paint a picture.
Okay, yeah.
I listened to all 4 recordings of Brass Bonanza on Spotify, and it, in its most, I think, classic rendition, is played by an organist who, the cover of the album is them sitting in front of a giant organ with an icy landscape, horribly photoshopped, mind you, in behind the organ in the best way possible.
Right.
It's just your classic, like, ballpark, hockey stadium, big sporting event, organ rendition, and it's delightful. Then I listened to a cover of it by the Zambonis, who are the only, get this, they're the only hockey-specific band to ever exist. Who would have thought?
I would have thought. I wouldn't.
But I think this is maybe the, like, kind of regular rendition. It is equal parts the Munsters theme, surf guitar a la The Ventures,
okay,
and also copious amounts of cheese. It is the cheesiest shit, but in the best way possible.
Right.
Everyone needs to go listen to all 4 recordings immediately. Pause the podcast. We'll be here. Go listen to them.
Yeah.
And it's great. And in fact, so I did some research on just going down the Hartford Whalers kind of path to Brass Bonanza. And unlike most sports teams at any level, the Whalers had this official theme song. And the song, it's like their song. It was composed, from what it says, it was composed for them by Jacques Issei, under the pseudonym of Jack Say, and it was originally called Evening Beat. It was a big hit with the team, Whalers fans, and even fans of other NHL teams. When it was played at home games, they would get down,
sure,
to Brass Bonanza, and it would essentially the theme song would play every time that the Whalers scored a goal, which, Jim, depending on the year you were, going to Whalers games, Binghamton Whalers games, there may be a reason why you didn't hear it. If you were going to games in 89, 90, sounds like they didn't score too many goals. So there could be a reason why you haven't heard it.
That's funny.
The song was introduced in the mid-'70s on the B-side of a souvenir record of team radio broadcast highlights, which is wild that this is on the B side,
right?
Where they were named the New England Whalers and played in the WHA. That's a whole other issue. We don't. This is not an episode on the Hartford Whalers, but basically, Boston had a problem with them being the New England Whalers. Long story short, there. However, in 1992, the general manager, Brian Burke, canceled the use of the song because he said, and I quote, there were players who were embarrassed by it, and replaced it by a goal horn and the song Hot, Hot, Hot by Buster Poindexter.
I remember that. Well, I mean, I've heard Feeling Hot, Hot, Hot. Yeah.
Sure. Famous New York musician, Buster Poindexter, member of, was it the New York Dolls? He's a man about town for sure. I've Saw him walking on University years ago. Still has the hair.
Well, shit, man. Good for him.
Then they replaced it a year later with Rock and Roll Part 2 by musician and convicted sex offender Gary Glitter. So it's safe to say they made no improvements on replacing Brass Bonanza. And I'm happy to report it was quickly reintroduced after Burke left the team the following year. Whew, it's back. Thank God.
What I love about this more than anything is that, you know, Brian Burke sat in his office and was like, you know what? I don't like the fact that these players are feeling a little bit red in the face when they hear Brass Bonanza. So you know what? Let's get that sex offender song out there. That'll, you know what? That should be fine. That should be that. No one will think anything of it. Shouldn't be a big deal.
He wasn't yet convicted or caught, shall we say?
Okay.
So that would have been 92, and he was, I think, arrested in 97. But still, you know,
my timeline's a little off, but my heart was in that joke, and I'm not walking that one back. That was funny.
Stepping on toes left and right.
No,
left
it's fine.
Right.
You know what? If Brian would have gotten into his time machine and perhaps seen what was to come, I think he might have thought twice about having Gary Glitter's likeness all over it. All that glitters is not gold, guys.
Mm-hmm.
Remember that. Remember that.
Go. Well, Jim, I'm going to ask you to remember a few of the previous team names.
Oh my gosh.
Here.
Let's go.
Because again, particularly when we talked about the Binghamton Mets / Rumble Ponies, remember specifically went over a couple like alternative names, right? And strong feelings on those. And we've had strong feelings on the renaming of the Carrier Dome.
Yeah.
And various other institutions, right? So I'm curious to get your ranking of all of the previous Binghamton team names. I'm going to just run them by. We've talked about some.
Sure.
I'm just curious which you think resonate the most with Binghamton and which maybe don't. First up, we've got the Broom Dusters, who we talked about. They were 73 to 77. Then we've got the Binghamton Whalers, then Binghamton Rangers, BC Icemen, one word, Icemen, Binghamton Senators, Binghamton Devils, and then the Binghamton Black Bears, which is the current iteration. Where do you fall?
Okay.
Fall on ranking these.
So,
or we can just go one by one. Whatever. I'll follow your lead.
Yeah. No, I feel you on that. So, you know, as I said at the top, I feel like the Whalers are going to be in first place for me, just because like that is what brings back the most memory, I feel. And that one, that really strikes a chord. I then would have to go. I like the Broom Dusters because they had like their jerseys were pretty solid. You know what I mean?
What? I assume we're working with like a cartoon broom. What are we?
I forget their logo, but the jerseys were like this like mustard colored it's like mustard and black.
Nice.
Which was pretty slick. And also, like, I feel like Slapshot, the film, was involved with them in some way.
I mean, maybe a future episode on that, if that's the...
Yeah, I mean, there's something there for sure. Then,
all right.
So then after that, I mean, I feel like the Rangers are in there, even though, like, obviously they're a New York City team. But again, like that, I feel like it's interesting because it's like I have a little bit more clearer memory of the Rangers, Binghamton Rangers.
Got it.
However, like the Whalers are what really are like a flashpoint for me. Like that to me is more Binghamton for me than the Binghamton Rangers.
I also think it's cool that they were. We didn't really talk about it, but the Whalers, the Hartford Whalers, were a new expansion team, and I think they actually themselves used to be in the AHL.
Right.
So, like, I love an underdog story, which,
sure,
Binghamton may or may not be a stranger to.
Oh my God, we are the underdogs.
And the fact that their affiliate team was the Hartford Whalers, I like that. But also, I think it's cool when an upstate team, particularly like Binghamton's not close to New York City, but them being like, I was excited to learn that they were the Mets affiliate in baseball for a time, and yeah, it's cool when there's a connection like that, particularly because it's so far away. Agreed.
It is 3.5 hours, but worlds apart. So, all right, after the Rangers, I'll throw the Icemen in there. They had a cool, they had a fun little, like, I think it was like the BC, there's like a Johnny Hart was this artist who drew like a caveman, and that was across like comics in the Broome County area, and I feel like he had.
I was gonna say the styling on the Iceman on that logo looks very similar to the styling of the Broome County Dusters or the Broome Dusters cartoon, because it's a little like cartoon strip kind of guy.
Yeah.
Wait, who did you say it was?
Johnny Hart.
Same guy.
Yep.
Same guy. He did the design for both.
Which,
very cool.
Man, what a deep cut memory, Johnny Hart. Holy moly. He's somebody else we could talk about. He was pretty. Man,
yeah, let's throw him out. Like, I think he had, he worked with like Hanna-Barbera. Looks like, man, we're getting so many. He's going on the list. He's going on the list.
Yeah, I was going to say, he's definitely somebody worth talking about. So after the Iceman, I feel like now we're getting kind of towards the bottom. And this is when I was not really in Binghamton, not living there. So I guess we could throw the Senators in there, then the Devils, and the Black Bears in last place, because I'd go to a game. We almost went to a game.
Yeah.
When we were up in Binghamton.
Yeah.
We almost went. I'd go because, look, hockey games are fun. I feel
I've never been.
You never been to a hockey game?
I've been to like a high school hockey game.
Oh man.
But other than that, never been to a pro or, like minor league, American Hockey League, whatever you call it, game.
Oh man, yeah, they're great. You can just yell whatever you want. That's what's so much fun. You just be like, stab him, fuck him up, and there's just this is you know what I mean? During a period break or whatever, just be like, fuck him up.
There's a guy bringing that energy to a Brooklyn Cyclones game we went to, and it was, it made for an interesting atmosphere. It was a different vibe at a baseball game.
Sure. Although there's going to be some overlap. You'll see some overlap, baseball, hockey, but. Yeah, the energy's there. So those are my ratings. That's how I'm going to rate these teams, if you will.
I'll take it. I think that's a fair and just rating.
You know what's fair here? I think it's fair to say that we have said everything that needs to be said about the Binghamton Whalers.
Jim, I couldn't have said it better myself, and I literally mean that, because for the listener, I just edited out about 30 seconds of silence where I failed to come up with a transition, and Jim finally swooped in and saved the day. So thank you
come on,
for
Rob.
that.
Come on, you ain't got to say that to me, dog. I appreciate it. I appreciate you. You know what I mean?
It's true. Well, I appreciate you as well. And I also appreciate a little album that I got to work on with you. Could you please enlighten anyone who's still with us here? What?
Sure. Yeah.
Pray tell, what is this album I speak of?
All right. Let's say that you just left a Binghamton Black Bears game, right? Mm-hmm. You're done. You had a great time. Somebody beat somebody up on the ice. you're a couple beers in, you're enjoying yourself, you're living your life, and you're like, man, you know what? What if I got my hands on a comedy album that had a lot to do with upstate New York? Well, look no further than Upstate Understandings. That is the album Rob is speaking about, that he produced and that I told jokes on. Go pick that up. It's the time of your life. Jimsearch.bandcamp.com. And I want to give a shout out to Aaron Elijah, who bought a copy of my album, which is very dope of him to do that today. And I didn't see that coming, and it's dope. It's dope to see people from where you're from supporting you. That means it's twice the sale that it is outside of that. So I want to give him a shout out. And go pick up that album, man. And if you get one, you can get another one. I got like 17 vinyl left. I caught it.
I'll cut that out. Don't worry.
Yeah, get that shit out of here. I got 17 vinyl left. You want to go pick up the physical, but if you want to get the digital copy, that still works too. So go do it. JimSearchComedy.com is where you can find my website. And you can find some show dates. I'm doing stand-up more a little bit more lately, which is pretty rad. I got a couple gigs coming up.
Not enough as far as I'm concerned.
Wow, geez.
The more dates, the better.
Get this guy
that came out hot. Jeez.
Get that guy on the road, man. The world needs to hear it. All social media at Jim Search. You can find me in the streets too. Whatever. Rob. They've listened to the album. They followed Aaron Elijah's footsteps. They bought a copy. They still have money in their pocket, and they want to hear some music. Any possible direction you can point these folks to?
I think I can be of assistance there. Let's just say you're the GM of an upstart NHL team.
Sure.
And you want to mix up the music. And you just found out that the musician you picked was arrested and convicted as a sex offender, and you need some new song choices fast. You're going to head to brooklynfrequency.bandcamp.com, and you're going to pick up my album, New York Sticky, and honestly, any of those tracks, with the exception of maybe two, which are a little bit more chill, they're going to be great tunes to pump up a crowd at the stadium. Do hockey teams play in stadiums? We'll interrogate that later.
Sure.
Anyway, grab the album. It's a really great instrumental album that I put together over the course of 5 years, but just put out this past summer, and it's really cool. And if you like this podcast, and if you like my album or Jim's album...
Oh, there's no ifs.
Fair enough.
Y'all like them.
You should check out our documentary that Jim and I also put together that is kind of a behind-the-scenes look at the putting together of the aforementioned album, Upstate Understandings. And there's a link for it, in fact, in the description of this episode.
Parts of that documentary, we are outside the Broome County Veterans Memorial Arena.
Oh my God, yeah. Actually, I think my favorite moment... favorite comedic moment, kind of a dark moment too, but is shot outside there.
Yeah, it's great.
Nice pull. Yeah, go check it out. It's been really excited to see people check it out and enjoy it, and it's up for free. It's just on YouTube.
And we cracked 100. We cracked 100 views.
We did.
That's great, man.
We did. Working on a 200 now.
Yep.
So you can be part of that achievement. Just click that link, baby.
Get up in there.
Speaking of clicking things, you should also scroll to the bottom of the podcast app you're using and click rate, review, subscribe. Like we said, if you throw us a 5-star rating and a positive review, you can also drop in the comments anything you would like us to cover in the future. Again, I would love to talk about more canals. If you want us to talk about canals, please help me out. Just throw it in there, and I can help convince Jim that we should devote at least a 10-part miniseries to every branch of the Erie Canal.
Well, let's get that GoFundMe started and raise a couple.
I got to work on the pitch a little bit.
Yeah,
We'll figure it out.
I love canals, and so should you.
I love canals.com. Well, let I'll see if it's available. I'll get
Check
back
it
to
out.
you guys next week on that front. Hey, speaking of things people are going to check out, what are we going to be checking out next week?
Oh, man. Well, listen, next week, let's just say we're going to be going below the ground. We're going to go below the ground. And what we'll find there, only you will know, because you will be listening next week when we go below. We're going to go below the ground.
Well, Jim.
Yes.
I've got my little pun to take us out. Jim, I gotta lace up my skates so we can get on out of here.
Woof! Man.
You're a little too generous with that woo, but
you're not playing with them this week. I see that. You're not playing
true.
around.
It's true. This ain't boot hockey.
Goodbye. Understanding Upstate is a podcast hosted by Jim Search and Rob Adler, edited by Rob Adler, and music from Regal Monk.